Hey there, this is my Rezvani Tank review, and this truck is a big boy. Starting off, as always, we'll take a look at the truck setup and arrangement, starting with the engine. So for the engine, I've gone for the V8 62T engine, granting a power-to-weight rating of S+. Following this, the special gearbox, which rounds off the remaining stats as B for durability and S for fuel consumption. Gearbox wise, you can probably just go with whatever you want, as you can pick from the special gearbox, the Snowrunner box, the freeway box, and the fine tune. Interestingly, the special gearbox for this vehicle has 8 auto gears as well as low and high gear, whereas the freeway box only has 6 gears. You can raise the suspension, which I would also recommend, and the truck has all-wheel drive always on but diff lock on a toggle, so the turning radius will be a bit smaller. Though, obviously I prefer diff lock always on for those high gear shenanigans. On the tyre front, you can have up to 39-inch tyres. The stock tyres are in the off-road class and they work pretty well unless you're going through the mud. But if you have the Jack of all trades pack, you can just use, the JAT MS3, which is really good. And that'll actually get you through the mud with a bit of throttle control. And it does also have access to the Ultima tyres, including the Ultima chain tyres, which I think look pretty rad. Your snorkel options are roof height or windscreen height, so there's no need to worry about fording rivers. For frame add-ons, there's a roof rack and an interior repair box, and these will reduce the power to weight rating down to S, but that's hardly an issue. One aspect that is a little annoying is that there's no tow bar, so you'll have to use a winch cable to pull along any scout trailers. There are a couple of visual fancies such as caging around the cabin and flared wheel arches, but given how these affected the Rezvani Hercules, I've opted not to use them so I'm not constantly taking damage, and I also think they look really ugly. Typical fuel consumption rates will rarely go over 4 litres per minute when off-roading and will mostly stay around 2 to 3 litres depending on your gearing. One aspect I don't normally cover is the durability. The truck is pretty robust, with only the fuel tank having fewer than 80 hit points. Some of its hit points are higher than that of full-size trucks. Overall, it's fairly fuel efficient, especially with the roof rack installed. So to summarise, the pros of the truck include pretty good ground clearance, decent fuel economy and repair capability, 8-speed special gearbox, which I think is unique, has a lot of power, it's stable, and it has electromagnetic pulse protection just in case you're driving through a nuclear testing area. And the cons include no tow bar, which is a big shame as this would have been good for towing a scout trailer. Diff lock is on a toggle, though I prefer always on, though this does actually match the IRL vehicle. And the Rezvani tyres are okay but no good in mud. And it is quite big, so it will struggle to get through trees. So after that, it's a 6.5 out of 10 for me. I feel like the devs could have added the option to have a tow bar, as I think it would be ideal for those newer, larger scout trailers, and the front bumper is actually a little restrictive when trying to climb over logs. Overall, it's pretty fun to drive and doesn't seem as useless as some of the other smatterings of scout trucks we've had in the last year, except for the AAC and the Burlak. But is it worth paying for it as a standalone item? Unless you really want it, then probably not, as there are so many scouts in the game that can do what the tank can do, but better. And it also does look like we're getting more scouts in the future with the seasonal releases, so meh overall. But it's up to you. And on that note, it's time to wrap up. So I want to thank you very much for watching. If you found the vehicle useful, then please let me know down below, and have a great day.